This video is brought to you by Manscaped. Stick around to hear more about the special offer they're providing to the entire upper echelon community. Alright, I feel like I say this every single time, but today is a fun one, because today we're talking about the deepfake inflection point and what this looming reality means for the online world. To begin, let's focus on definitions. What does inflection point even mean? According to Cambridge Dictionary, it is, quote, a time of sudden, noticeable, or important change in an industry, company, market, etc., end quote. Inflection points typically refer to mathematics, such as the inflection point change of a curve. However, today we are specifically referring to a singular moment in time where everything changes. Now, in tandem with that, we need the definition of deepfake, because largely subdued beneath the surface, deepfake technology has been evolving to a point where this inevitable inflection point, built around artificial intelligence, is right around the corner. Deepfakes are videos that have been modified to impersonate someone. The technology itself is rather neutral, revolving around complex neural networks and machine learning, but the implications behind what this technology might be used to do are actually kind of horrifying. I'm sure most people have seen or heard of deepfakes at one point in their life, but for those that haven't, here's an example.
Democracy is a fragile thing, more fragile than you want to believe. If the election fails, there is no democracy. I don't have to do anything. You're doing it to yourselves. People are divided. Your voting districts are manipulated. Voting locations are closing, so millions can't vote. It's not hard for democracy to collapse. All you have to do is nothing.
That video honestly gave me chills because it's fake. Straddling the line between fiction and reality, something about it certainly seems off. However, the likeness, speech pattern, and visual characteristics of this video are close enough to reality where identifying if it's real or fake for the naked eye is damn near impossible. For this particular example, the video was intended to be aired as a shock factor commercial regarding the fragile state of our democracy. Created by an advocacy group called Represent Us, the video was one half of a promotional pair, also including a version of Vladimir Putin, who warned that Americans were interfering with their own democracy.
America, you blame me for interfering with your democracy, but I don't have to. You are doing it to yourselves. Polling stations are closing, you don't know who to trust, you are divided. There are strings we can pull, but we don't have to. You are pulling them for us.
These videos would have been aired alongside a hefty disclaimer detailing that they were synthetic and that the statements were not in fact real, but due to significant fear as to how the American public might react, even with a lengthy disclaimer attached to the video, the ads were never shown. To this day, I wonder what might have happened if they were, but regardless, these examples clearly demonstrate the far-reaching implications, or efficacy, of deepfake technology. Well, smither me jingles, it's time for today's video sponsor, which is Manscaped. The time has come for commercialized holiday consumerism, and what better way is there to engage with such a system than the Manscaped Performance Package centering on the highly developed Lawnmower 4.0. Cordless, waterproof, interchangeable blade guards, and a wireless charging feature make this the most advanced iteration of their signature product yet. Everything from enhanced battery life, convenience-based LED, and a travel lock feature to stop it from going off unexpectedly. The Performance Package 4.0 comes complete with Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, Crop Reviver Ball Toner. These products are sulfate and paraben-free for anyone who cares, as well as the Weed Whacker Nose and Ear Hair Trimmer. Also, perfect for stuffing into stockings, you can add the Shears 2.0, a luxury stainless steel nail kit, or the Body Buffer, which is better, by far, than typical shower loofahs. There's a very good reason that 6 million men worldwide trust Manscaped as their one and only hygiene option. If you want a special holiday discount, you can use the link down below and code UPPER at checkout for 20% off and free international shipping, as well as 2 free gifts on top of that, a Shed travel bag and Manscaped anti-chafing boxer briefs. Again, link down below and code UPPER at checkout for 20% off and free international shipping. Big thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring the channel. Alright, understanding the two definitions, what is the inflection point and why am I making the video? The deepfake inflection point refers to a specific instant in time where technology allowing near-perfect deepfakes becomes widely accessible. In truth, it already is, in a sense, but the inflection point will truly arrive when some user, company, or other entity creates a simple, public interface which allows an otherwise complex technology to be used by everyone. A decent parallel to draw here is the rapid ascension of AI technology such as ChatGPT or Stable Diffusion. In the case of ChatGPT, we see astounding, absolutely astounding metrics in terms of user adoption, results, and use cases. But to really demonstrate this, we need a bit of a comparison. Facebook, often heralded as one of the most explosive companies in human history for user growth and adoption, took roughly 10 months to go from roughly 0 to 1 million users. That's very fast, and also occurred during an early time frame when internet usage was not as widespread. However, even when allowing a certain degree of flexibility here, when compared to ChatGPT, these numbers are laughable. ChatGPT reached 1 million users in just 5 days, making it one of, if not the fastest growing tech product launch of all time. The interface itself is extremely simple. Type the text, read the response. ChatGPT can create code based on simple prompts. It can write short stories, novels, solve math problems, do homework, and so much more it boggles the mind. As of right now, there are restrictions in place, a lot of them, with regards to how the technology interfaces with online search results. But as it evolves, these barriers will either slowly come down or be circumvented, more likely, which gives way for ChatGPT to completely redefine the entire world of education, online browsing, software engineering, and more. Still, as impressive as all of this is, it's not the actual topic. Stable Diffusion is now able to generate complex imagery based on simple text prompts, and while this ability is certainly imperfect, requiring some manual augmentations when overly specific, such as hands, for example, which the AI has a very hard time properly depicting, the wider set of tools combined paint a picture of exponential development that is on the verge of allowing for simple access to AI-driven creation tools that let you depict anything you want, whenever you want. It's right around the corner. That reality is terrifying. Deepfake technology is currently relegated to, shall we say, badly done explicit imagery. I'm just, without censoring anything here, deepfakes are mostly a product of the porn world right now, like adult film stuff, for the most part. However, the examples of higher quality fakes that cannot easily be distinguished from reality are multiplying. In 2018, published by BuzzFeed, a video was released that showed President Obama, a fake version of him, speaking about the new online reality where our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything. And this warning, despite the fact it came from a BuzzFeed channel, could not have been more true.
We're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things.
More recently, in 2021, I think it was, a TikTok phenomenon appeared where the movie star Tom Cruise was being imitated by deepfake technology in conjunction with a body double, where videos were produced, or were being produced, with such accuracy the general public simply couldn't tell the difference. In this particular case, no harm was done, owing to the fact that the video creators were operating with a fairly ethical set of internal guidelines. However, when we begin to think about the evolution of such technology and the logical steps that will come next, well, that's where shit hits the fan. As our capability evolves, allowing for images to be created with simple text prompts, stories and code to be written with a simple query, and entire videos to be generated with someone else's face and voice, the potential for harm evolves along with it. The deepfake inflection point, as I define it, refers to a specific point in time when widely available tools, such as a website, for example, where you can simply upload a picture of someone's face and a video that you want them to be part of, surpass a sort of unseen threshold, and the human eye can no longer naturally distinguish between what is real and what is fake. We've already reached that point, actually, technologically speaking, by the way, but for the moment, it remains largely unreachable outside of a small group of people with a certain skill set. What I mean by this is the general public isn't going to devote the necessary time required to learn about and use deepfake technology as it exists right now, owing to its complexity. But as soon as it's been refined and simplified, which it is happening, like that's being worked on right now, the number of people engaging with it will absolutely explode, similar to the meteoric rise of ChatGPT. When that happens, our entire digital life will change. In the blink of an eye, actually more like a few months or a year most likely, but in the grand scheme of history it will be lightning quick. In the blink of an eye, the online world we browse will become totally impossible to trust in the slightest. Now, bear with me here because it may seem scattered and a little bit unrelated, but it's actually extremely relevant. World War I, arguably one of the deadliest wars in history, was not only devastating as a result of its scale, it was also devastating because of a mismatch between tactics and weaponry. During the First World War, prior tactics of trench warfare remained, with extremely simple maneuvers like rushing straight forward into an enemy's defense line, while the weaponry that was used had significantly advanced over time. This imbalance of sorts resulted in probably millions of unnecessary deaths, and while the online world of deepfake videos and falsified images don't even come close on a visceral level, at least not right now, the implications behind an imbalance of weaponry and tactics in that particular venue is extremely noteworthy. Deepfake technology, in combination with the explosively progressing world of AI and machine learning, are the weapons, but our own skepticism and due diligence when browsing online are the tactics. For a very, very long time, recorded video was trustworthy, just intrinsically it was, at least for the most part. But very soon in the future, mark my words, we will be faced with digital weaponry capable of making visually indistinguishable videos of certain people. And the general public, well, the general public does not, by and large, possess the tactics required to see, root out, expose, or evaluate these videos. Now, to be clear, I'm not an expert on this. However, over the years, I've picked up a few tactics and developed a sense of distrust that seems particularly well suited to this video topic, so here goes. In the very near future, you will no longer be able to trust almost anything that you ever see online. Screenshots, pictures, videos, voices, all of them can be faked with alarming accuracy, but as the weapons evolve, there are superior tactics we can adopt to mitigate danger. For starters, while the deepfake inflection point of falsified videos might still be in the future, the reality of two-dimensional imagery has already progressed to a point of necessary skepticism. To demonstrate this, I will use Photoshop and a program called JPEG Snoop. Now, keep in mind, this is a rudimentary method. This is very, very basic and a surface-level determination as to whether or not an image is manipulated. But as I process screenshots and chat logs for various different stories, sources, whatever it is, this is one of the tactics I've incorporated to push back against the looming reality that anything we see online could very easily be fake. This is a basic screenshot of white space from my desktop. It was taken with the Windows Snip tool, it was never opened in any other program, and this, using JPEG Snoop, is its metadata. The metadata we see here has a whole lot of information, most of which I'm not even remotely qualified to analyze, a lot of it I don't even understand, but one of the simple tricks we can use is searching for photo editing software tags such as Photoshop. As you can see, there are no Photoshop tags because the image was clipped, submitted, and analyzed without ever being opened in a photo editing application, resaved, or modified in any way whatsoever. Excellent. Well, now look at this. This is a JPEG that was opened in Photoshop, this is actually one of my video thumbnails, and augmented with extra images and items to make it visually appealing. If we search the metadata here, we will see numerous examples of the Photoshop tag, clearly outlining that this image, at the very least, was opened by an editing application and then resaved. Even better, here is the metadata for a document that I was sent by an inside source for a prior different video, where we can see a lack of Photoshop tags, but after going in, making visually imperceptible changes, deleting some of the text and modifying various different dates and times inside Photoshop, the metadata now does include Photoshop references and new information. To be clear, I'm just using this to demonstrate. I didn't actually alter anything when I displayed this in my prior video, but I did go in and check to see if it had been altered, right? So I have to go in and check what sources send me and see if there's editing software tags. And if there's not, it's legit. And if there are, then I have to have a very serious conversation, because if it's been opened in Photoshop, and it could have been edited any number of ways. Now, to be clear, you absolutely can fake metadata or alter it with certain programs undetected. On top of this, there are a great deal of editing programs that aren't titled Adobe Photoshop and don't leave as many traces behind or need to be particularly individually searched for. Not to mention the fact that I am in no way qualified as a digital forensics expert, but this type of rudimentary tactic is going to become absolutely essential for everyone online if they care even slightly about the truth. For video, there are a multitude of steps that can be taken, such as an analysis called VELA, where compression produces errors and those errors are then analyzed by subtracting one video from the other. But for the most part, even rudimentary methods will be incredibly helpful for anyone looking to verify authenticity of what they are looking at. One method that I myself use on pretty much every video I process is to run source material and other references through a program called VLC Media Player and look for duplicate frames. As an example, here's a video I did pertaining to Lord of the Rings. When cycling through frame by frame, sometimes we can see that some of the frames are actually duplicated, and this is because of a mismatch between the frames per second I recorded at and the frames per second of the output when rendering a modified video. It's actually a lot more complicated than that, but a raw original video recorded at a set frame rate, especially from like a cell phone or something like that, will not have many or any really duplicate frames. Duplicate frames are a result of the video having been put through editing software and then re-rendered. These are obviously not foolproof tests, of course, but this kind of basic due diligence when looking at online material is about to become crucial. Programs that do this vary a great deal, some better, some worse, but a basic understanding that our digital lives are on the verge of changing forever is required, because the evolution of deepfake technology, AI image generation, and the further developments that they will combine to allow, is advancing at an exponential pace. Soon, anyone with an internet connection will be able to create picture-perfect visualizations of probably whatever they want. They will be able to make videos of world leaders saying terrible things, they'll be able to create videos of major international news stories that are falsified, and while the technology will certainly have far-reaching positive implications as well, the deepfake inflection point, when it occurs, will forever transform our digital lives. Those of us who are prepared for it will still be able to hang on for a time and differentiate between what is real and what is fake. But when this moment comes, there will be extreme fallout and distrust especially, as well as major policy shifts by platforms such as YouTube or Facebook or any other social media company. After that, I don't know. Some type of platform or even a governmental level response that seeks to identify and remove falsified images and videos. Probably, though that strays into dangerous territory with freedom of speech and expression and all sorts of stuff. I mean, it's going to be murky waters to say the very least, but as we as individuals can either be caught in these digital tides by accident or unknowingly, like a riptide on the coast, or we can swim through deliberately with a plan. For me, the answer is obvious, and while I'm certainly not qualified as an expert on artificial intelligence or digital forensics, with the way the world is moving, yeah, I'm working on trying to become one, and everyone who heavily interacts with the online world should be seeking to do the same. That's it. If you want support, please check out the links down below, Locals and Patreon for a monthly subscription, merch, social media, the video sponsor, etc., but I'll cut it there and stop rambling. As always, thank you all for watching, and have a nice night.